Although there is an inextricable link between Israel and Judaism that comes to mind for many people when they first hear a mention of Israel, the country's diversity of cultures can be reflected in intangible cultural heritage, from the traditions and living expressions of widely known Jewish culture, as well as overlooked or underrepresented communities within Israeli society. In spite of Israel's political move of withdrawing from UNESCO, Israel still has the opportunity to inscribe elements in UNESCO's official list of ICH. However, Israel's withdrawal from UNESCO has itself become a reason not to propose any ICH for inscription. The time since Israel's withdrawal from UNESCO has been a time of reflection, resolve, and reevaluation of Israel's voice and place in the world. It is imperative to preserve these assets in UNESCO's ICH list. The list for Israel is currently empty. In 2018, UNESCO officially inscribed 31 ICH elements from around the world, but surprisingly, Israel has never submitted any ICH elements to UNESCO. Thus, I propose to you that Israeli ICH be considered for inscription by UNESCO, including but not limited to the following elements. The shofar. In the biblical period, a ram's horn, the shofar, was sounded to mark the new moon and the Jubilee. It was a call to action, marking the beginning of war, and was also employed in the music of the temple. The shofar is still sounded in Jewish rituals today, and serves as a call to religious and spiritual mindfulness. The Armenian pottery of Jerusalem. Since 1922, handmade Armenian pottery has been a familiar fixture in Jerusalem, with old city street signs and contemporary earthenware designed by traditional handiwork. The floral and faunal designs of Armenian pottery, with predominantly earth tones and blue borders, have become a trademark of Jerusalem's crafts. Communal reading of the Torah. After the Judeans returned to ancient Israel from exile in Babylonia in the 6th century BCE, Ezra the scribe instituted public readings of the Torah. Since the time of Ezra, Torah reading and cantillation practices have developed in diverse ways in various Jewish communities across the world. Modern Hebrew poetry. With the revival of modern Hebrew in the late 19th century, a new era of poetry arose. Writers like Chaim Nachman Bialik, Yehoshua Chana Ravnitsky, and Shaul Chernichovsky made significant contributions to the oral traditions of Israeli society, paving the way for subsequent great poets such as Yehuda Amichai, Natan Alterman, and Leah Goldberg. Israeli folk dance. Before the Third Aliyah to mandatory Palestine, the most popular dances were those brought by European immigrants. However, those who moved to mandatory Palestine after the Third Aliyah, in the 1920s and beyond, developed a new system and culture of Israeli folk dance, incorporating elements of these European dances and contemporary Israeli musical styles. Israeli folk dance became popular in Israel and has since become popular across the world. Sigd. Since 2008, the State of Israel has recognized the Ethiopian Jewish holiday of Sigd as a national holiday. Sigd symbolizes the Ethiopian Jewish community's acceptance of the Torah, marked by gathering in Jerusalem for a day of fasting and prayer. Sigd should certainly be inscribed as Israeli ICH. Another national holiday of Israel that should be inscribed is Ziyarat al-Nabi Shuaib, the annual Druze pilgrimage to the tomb of the prophet Jethro. Other Jewish customs and observances should be eligible ICH as well. Moving forward, the recognition and inscription of Israeli ICH will help ease Israel's ethnopolitical tensions, pave the way for Israel to renew its membership in UNESCO, and improve the global image of Israeli society. It would also improve the convening power of Israeli archaeologists, cultural anthropologists, and historians, and help depoliticize Israel's ICH preservation process.